Hi, everybody. Today on Lead with Love, we're going to talk about some different things here. We're going to talk about taxation. One is the taxes are coming due. So some of you have just got off the Christmas and New Year's stuff, and you're wondering why you're getting these W-2s and 1099s, and the reason is because tax time is due. So we're going to go over some of the areas just to keep you safe and to make sure that you understand that you do have options when you're filing your taxes. And also, we're also going to talk about some different areas. One is seabed mining, which is a topic that I love the topic because I want to talk about Project Azorian. And if you've never heard of Project Azorian, we'll talk about that. And the other one is diagnostic errors that seem to be, and I'm going to use a media term. It seems to be running rampant. We have this running rampant diagnostic errors. That's what we do. Diagnostic errors are pervading our everyday healthcare. That's the way the media presents it. I'll present it in a more measured fashion through a study that was done by the Journal of the American Medical Association. And we'll talk about that a little bit. So those are the three things we'll talk about today: taxes, seabed mining, and diagnostic errors. Kind of an eclectic view of today's Lead with Love. So, hi everybody. We're going to talk about today is going to be the first thing is going to be taxes. So taxes are coming up, and everybody's kind of, oh, here we go. We have taxes. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Well, a couple of things you have to be aware of, and that is that when you want to do taxes, you go to irs.gov. You don't go to irs.com. You don't go to irs.com. irs.com is not a government website, and we'll show that to you in a little bit. So the first thing I want to show you is the irs.gov area, but just for argument's sake, let's go to irs.com. And irs.com comes up and it says, oh, interesting. File a tax return online, owe money to the IRS, apply for an EIN number. And if you take a look, e-file form, tax forms, researches, look at all this. Interesting enough, it has just about everything you have for the that has irs.gov, but it's not irs.gov. It's irs.com. Bad. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay, because this is ridiculous. I mean, why go there when you have all this other area? And this is not the one you want to go to. This is the one you want to go to. Why? Because it says an official website of the United States government. It says it right here, irs.gov. Now, you see this little symbol here right next to irs.gov, and I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can no, but it doesn't blow it up. But right here, you have this. When you click on this, it says irs.gov, connection is secure, and it'll show you why. Certificate is valid. That means the certificate, the security certificate. Cookies and site data are used to remember you, manage on-device site data. Now, a lot of people don't realize you can do this. Here it is. Look at this. So it says to improve your visit, sites often save your activity, right? Often to your device, but most of the time they send it to, sometimes they save it to their data, right? So irs.gov, delete saved data from irs.gov, delete saved data from irs.gov here. Google Analytics, so I can also embed that, so you can delete it, and you can delete saved data from YouTube. So for YouTube, so you can delete that too. You could delete here, and you could delete this. So now you've deleted all the on-site device site data that they have, right? And when you reload, now it'll have it up. Now, what can you do at irs.gov? First of all, you can get your tax record. I would highly recommend people signing up for irs.gov tax record. Go in, you have a user ID and a password. It shows you how much you owe. It shows you when your last tax record was, a tax return, how much you got, all these things. Get your refund status, sign into your account. You can make a payment. If you owe, make a payment, right? apply for an employer ID. I have one. It's really easy to do, and it's really nice because you can use that ID for your business stuff, even if you're a sole proprietor, which is nice. Now, what do I do? What do I do personally? And this is me personally. I've never filed my taxes online, and I will never file my taxes online as long as I have that option not to do that. And the reason is because it's a lot easier. I file mine by paper. A lot of people said this, oh my gosh, Chris, what's wrong with you? You're so old. You're an old guy. I put it in a U.S. Postal Service priority pack. Now, where can you get that? Get that from USPS.com, right? And I have an account, and basically what I do is I can send. I just do click and ship, and then I can actually I can print them here in off my printer. I can print the actual the label off my printer, which is really nice. And you can get the printing labels anywhere. You can get them from Staples. You can get them from Office Depot. You can get them from Amazon, and they have it. They have USPS kind of approved labels. And you can make your own label and send it. Basically, you put it in the mailbox. It's really nice, but it is tracked. It is tracked, and you can even have a signature tracking. Now, a lot of people sit there and say that it says it in the actual tax form. It says sending stuff certified will not will not increase the chances of you getting your refund quicker or having your filing done quicker. Yes, but I'll tell you what it does do. It does, in fact, prove that you sent your return and it was received by the IRS. That is really, really important. And you can say, well, I do that electronically, and they have a receipt and everything. That's fine, but electronics. I'm an IT guy. Things disappear. They go away. When they're data to data. When you have a piece of paper in your hand, you can make that thing go away, but you got to literally take it physically and throw it in a garbage can. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to do that rather than just saying delete. So I would, this is what I do. You don't have to do it. In fact, most people are going to say, Chris, go pound sand. I'm not going to do that. Fine. I'm just saying that for, 50 years. For 50 years, I've been filing by paper. 50 years. And I've never had a problem with filing with paper. I shouldn't say that. I had a problem one time, but I called up and they went through the entire form with me, and then they said, okay, here's the situation. That's what we're going to do, and that's fine. And it worked out fine. But also, interestingly enough, a lot of people, they sit there and they say, yeah, but that I don't want to call IRS because I just get kept on hold and whatever else. So, how do I speak to a person in IRS? It's there's a just answer how to talk to IRS. How to talk to somebody at IRS. Talk directly to an accountant. No, don't care. Gov telephone assistance. How to speak to someone. Step-by-step guide. Okay, is this money done right? Call one. Here it is. Press 2. Okay, so this is how to speak to somebody. This is a step-by-step thing. Money done right, right? Getting hold of somebody is hard. How to speak to somebody. This is it. Here's exactly how to speak to somebody IRS over the phone. Call this number. Press 1, press 2, press 1, press 3, press 2, press 2, blah, 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 blah. Wait to be connected to someone at the IRS. So this goes all the way through it. Step-by-step approach, money done right. I'm going to put this on here. And a lot of people are going to say, Chris, what are you doing, man? You're going to end up, a lot of people are going to be doing this. I hope so. I hope they will. How to speak to somebody. So this is how to do it, step-by-step approach, and how to make that work for you. So I think this is pretty important. 15 minutes average wait time, filing season, 27 minutes post filing season. Busiest days. I like this. It really is a good thing. So, phone numbers, customer service, how to talk to somebody else. There used to be a legal office of all things, and see how to speak to a real person, a real agent, right? In RS. So sometimes tax expert, how do I contact customer service? Talk to nope, don't care. Telephone assistance, life hacker. This is what it got. But it was, I mean, IRS phone numbers, how to speak to a human. So I mean, so there's a lot of different ways of looking at this, but this is kind of nice. You can take a look at this. Call, yeah, prepare yourself, don't care. Here we go. Press 1, press 3, press 2. You know, do not, real person, busy liar. So this also has it, but that one had like a step-by-step approach, which I really like. So I mean, there are ways of doing that, and just, I mean, the search engine is for you, right? So make sure that works, right? So I mean, look at this. I mean, this is irs.com. I mean, let's just see. I shouldn't do this. I mean, because you do have connection secure, cookies and site data, manage on-site. So this is on-site site data to improve your visit. Data from the site you're visiting. A site might save your preferred language or items you want to buy. So irs.com, don't care, don't want that. And then a site can also embed content and all this. So I don't want any of this stuff. So I'm going to just kill it all. So this is what we have here. And let's just see what it says. So I'm just going to go to the individual tax return. I mean, look what it says. Flagship, all types of, I mean, US 1040. I mean, tax returns. See, again, it doesn't do anything for you here, folks. It doesn't give you the form. Where is the form? There's no form here. See? I mean, whereas if I were to go to Internal Revenue Service, find form and instructions, here's the forms, right? And I'm going to just put in here, I mean, popular forms, form 1040. So this is what I like. It comes in a form of a PDF. So this will come up. It'll come in form of a PDF. It'll come up, and it's fillable. This is all fillable. You can put your name in here. You can put everything you want in here. And a lot of people say, yeah, but I'd rather do it with a tax application. That's fine. If you want to do it that way, I have no problem with that. I'm just telling you what I do. And this is, I mean, yes, it's a pain in the butt. Yes, you got to go through every line. But you know something? I trust myself going through the forms. I was a government worker for over 30 years, between almost 35 years, between military, Department of Defense, Social Security, Department of Defense. I had a lot of time looking at forms and even designing some forms, not IRS forms. But you take a look at this stuff and you say, geez, what the heck? Just, you can download it. There's your download button. Boom, you download it. And it's good to go. It's good to go. So, I mean, you can find all your forms in here. You can find all the different ones you need. And it's, it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. In fact, it costs you nothing. $0, 0 cents. That's all. These forms are free. If you have to pay anything for this, you don't have to pay anything for this, folks. They used to have them at post offices where you could go and you could grab whatever forms you wanted. And of course, they did away with that because they came out with PDFs. So the P stands for portable, and it's pretty important. So this is what you can do. And like I said, it's fillable. You can fill in your stuff. You can fill in whatever you want. I mean, it makes it so nice from that standpoint. And get a calculator or get an end machine. Come on, you can do this stuff yourself. And you do all this area. The new laws are already put into play. Married filing jointly is now up to 27/7. I am so happy I'm married. So that's what, that's just the 1040. So this is what you have, and that's where you have, and then you have instructions. I absolutely I absolutely recommend you do this. Now, also they have the text table, right, from the instructions, which is nice. So there's a text table right here. You don't have to go all the way through the instructions to make that work, right? So I'm going to going to do this right now. I'm just going to download this baby into taxes. We're going to make that work. Anyways, I will do it. I'll do it later. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about this area, which is irs.gov, right? Make sure, put it up one more time. irs.gov, 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 not irs.com, not irs.net, not irs.edu, irs.gov. Easy to remember, right? Don't go to irs.com. And then go to usps.com. Then you can go to usps.gov and it will automatically give you to usps.com. So don't worry about going to usps.com because it's the same thing. Just make sure, go to US. In fact, what I do is sometimes I'll put in usps.gov. And when you do that, it automatically takes you to usps.com. So you know that that's okay. So that's what we're going to talk about with taxes. Now, enough of that. So what are we going to talk about next? We're going to talk about seabed mining. Now, seabed mining is really interesting because there's a lot of resources, a lot of things on the seabed, right? A lot of things on seabed. BBC covered this really well, and now they have a miner, Gerard Barron, who says, hey, look, we're just going to dig this stuff up from the bottom of the sea. And it's got nickel, it's got manganese, copper, all these things that you need for electronics, right? And manganese is very, very important for electronics. So is cobalt. So they're gonna dig this stuff up. So a lot of people say, oh no, it's bad, bad for the environment, bad for this, bad for that. I get it, but there was, and it's very cool. There was a project called Azorian. And if you want to see Azorian, and this is so cool, just put in Azorian in here, and it'll come up. Project Azorian. This is Project Azorian CIA, the World Factbook. You can actually go into CIA and see Project Azorian. So this was an absolute. In fact, I used there's a DVD out called Project Azorian, which is really a good DVD. I forget who put it out, History or National Geographic. Somebody put it out. It's really, really, really good story. I used it as a backdrop for my system engineering courses when I taught system engineering, and it was just the best example of system engineering that was ever done. And the way that basically what they did was they designed something to design this big grabber to go down, what was it, 6 miles, 5 miles? It's 16,000 feet, right? So 5 miles on the ocean floor, and grab up a piece of a submarine. So it's like pretty cool, huh? I mean, it's amazing. So the public believed the used Glamour Explorer to be a vessel for deep sea mining, right? That was the cover story. It was made for deep sea mining. And even at the end, when the project was over and everything was done, they used the ship, the Glomar Explorer, for deep sea mining. So the deep sea mining, they think it's this brand new concept. It's 50 years old, folks. 50 years old. I mean, this thing was done in the 1970s with, we didn't have PCs. We didn't have AI. We didn't have any of that stuff. What we had was smart engineers. That's what we had. We still have that. I think we still have smart engineers, I think. What's happening is they didn't depend on all this. And, they did a lot of things by pure and honest to God education, what they learned and what they were able to do. But the thing is, the CIA gave, Howard Hughes backed this up, and the CIA just poured in money into it. I mean, it cost a good bit. So here we go, right? 1970. This thing's more than 50 years old, and they were able to go down and grab up this thing, right? CIA was really using the ship to search for a sunken Soviet submarine. Pretty wild, huh? Heavy lift operation. I mean, this thing was amazing. Just look it up and see the DVDs. It's fantastic. But a lot of people, they sit back and they go, oh, this is so innovative. This is so new, so unique. Wrong answer. This thing, was thought about in the 1970s. And it took, like I said, it took a bunch of engineers to make that happen. So wild. So, it's, that's what happened. So, failed to meet its full intelligence objectives, CIA considered the operation to be one of the greatest intelligence coups, right? It's fine. The Glomar's brief covert career is now over. After some experimental ocean mining voyages sponsored by a consortium of industry leaders, it was mothballed for a quarter century. Then in late 1970s, the U.S. Petroleum Company restored the ship for use in deep sea oil drilling and exploration. So that's what happened. So this is funny, blah blah blah. Then it says the Ford administration investigative reporter Jack Ennis broke the story on national television, asserting that Navy experts had told him the sunken submarine contained no real secrets and that the project was a waste of taxpayers' money. Ford administration neither confirmed nor denied any of the stories in circulation, but by late June, the Soviets had assigned a ship to monitor and guard the recovery site. With Glomar's cover blown, White House canceled further recovery operations. So, I mean, this is just it's an amazing story. But I wanted to bring up the story because it's very important for you guys to understand that this is not something new. This is something that was thought about 50 years ago, and now all of a sudden, with the current technology and the way that things are going, they applied it to the deep sea mining aspect. Is it good? Will it destroy or harm environmental issues? I don't know. And to tell the honest goodness truth, nobody's going to know until this thing is online. It's kind of funny. People say to me, Chris, how can you say this? You'd let something go operational, not knowing what it harms or not. And it's funny to me because these are the same people that allow laws to come through Congress, and Congress says we pass the laws, we never even you barely even read them. So how do you know the law is not going to hurt somebody? We know because we're Congress. Well, that's really nice, but the bottom line is you got to put an operation before you figure out if where the problems are with the law. And it's I can name 4 or 5 right off the bat, and some having to do with Social Security that just came online. And it was like, why did we do this? Well, it was a law, Congress passed it. It was like, oh my gosh, millions of dollars later, we're still mucking around with this thing. So, I mean, something like this is just an amazing feat of what it was, of to do one thing in one mission. I think it's just amazing. So that's Project Azorian and deep sea mining. And it's, is it gonna, you don't know, right? And they're going to meet. 169 member states meet to finalize the rules. They may potentially allow it to start with a final vote expected within 24 months. Yeah. International Seabed Authority. We have an authority for the seabed. Amazing. We have authority. Whenever we have authority for every drop of water. So, sorry, cynical side coming off. Now, let's move to the last thing, which is diagnostic errors. So the Journal of American Medical Association brought up this thing, which scares the hell out of me. It said, diagnostic errors in hospitalized adults who died or were transferred to intensive care. Now, there's been another, I can't remember if it was JAMA or Annals of Annals of Internal Medicine. One of those two brought up the thing about hypotheses, and we'll discuss that in a little bit. But it says, key points. How often do diagnostic errors happen in adult patients? Right? Transferred to intensive care unit, die in the hospital. What causes the errors and what are the associated harms? So they did 2,248 patient records. A missed or delayed diagnosis took place in 23% of them. 23%. That's almost a quarter of the number of patients that were looked in the records. They missed something. They missed a diagnosis. I mean, this is scary stuff. I mean, how often do diagnostic errors? 1 in 4? Really? One in 4. It's like I don't want to be that one. I'll be the other 3. It's greatest effect size associated with diagnostic errors. Jeez, oh man. So I mean, it's scary. I appreciate Journal of American Medical Association being transparent in this, which is nice. So designed 29 academic medical centers, U.S. random sample, January 1st to December 31st, 2019. So that's good. That's before COVID. So that's pretty, that's important. Reviewed by 2 trained clinicians to determine whether diagnostic error occurred, identified harms, multivariate, blah, 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 main outcomes. Whether or not diagnostic error took place, frequency of and harm associated with those errors. Fine. So this is underwent review, standard deviation of age, 63.9, 1,107 female, 1,321 male, 550 patients had experienced a diagnostic error. Wow. Errors were judged to contributed to temporary harm, permanent harm, or death in 436 patients. Among the 1863 who died, diagnostic error was judged to have contributed to death in 121. So that makes me feel a little bit better. In multivariable models examining patient assessment problems and problems with test ordering and interpretation had the highest opportunity to reduce diagnostic errors. Interesting. So, but what will the health insurance allow you to test? That's the problem, and that's what the doctors are always faced with. Is am I going to end up, getting manhandled by the patient for ordering a test that they didn't get paid for? That they weren't covered. So that's basically what I wanted to bring out. It's this, and again, this is fair. I think, the bottom line on this thing is that at least the Journal of American Medical Association is bringing this out, right? Diagnostic errors. It could be, I'm very surprised that the media hasn't picked it up on it because, again, this was before COVID. This is before COVID now. And all of a sudden, sit there and said, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible." Almost 25%. That's 1 in 4. Have everyone just going crazy because we've decided that we have a problem with our doctors doing diagnostics. Well, the problem is, and this is something that is rampant, is there's more patients. There's tons and tons and tons and tons more patients. A lot of people are reaching 65. So a lot of them are on Medicare. So Medicare and Medicare, I can tell you right now, Medicare is hard to deal with. I mean, you got to have the ICD-10 code right. You have to make sure you go through the bureaucracy to make sure that works. And that's your primary. That's my primary. My secondary, if Medicare won't pay for it, my secondary won't pay for it. Wait a minute. wait. Just because my Medicare won't pay for it, why won't you pay for it? Especially if I'm paying you as a secondary to pick up that gap that's a problem between Medicare and you. So, that goes around and around and around. So it's today we hit a lot of different things. We hit CBED, we hit taxes, first of all. Make sure you go to irs.gov. Make sure you get any forms from irs.gov. Make sure you ask any questions via irs.gov. I showed you a way to get to a real person. Also talked about different areas of seabed mining, which is an amazing feat. I mean, again, 1970, just amazing, absolutely amazing feat. So cool. Then you had, excuse me, then we went into Azorian, Project Azorian, how that related to seabed mining. And then finally, we ended up with the Journal of American Medical Association talking about diagnostic errors. So all these 3 things we talked about today, a lot of different areas. Again, very eclectic. And Lead with Love is like that. I try to show the things that I've learned and I try to share them with you. That's part of the learning, offer, value, educate thing that goes along with that. So that's pretty much does it for me. So I wanted to wish you a Happy New Year, belated, and I also wanted to tell you that the taxes, that you have help there to be able to do your taxes. So go ahead and do it, and use that. And I think that's pretty important. And for everyone out there that looks at January as this transition between the Christmas holidays and February, and it's interesting because the government workers, your last holiday until March, until April, no, until February. So February you have one holiday, President's Day, and then you'll have another one until like May. So I look upon that as being interesting because I just, I love having my time to myself. So for all those individuals that are taking resolutions this year, I already talked about weight aspects. Drink water, folks. Drink water, drink water, drink water. Very important. Any doctor will tell you that. Don't over drink water, but drink, half your weight, that ounces. You should try to drink every day if you can. And eat as healthy as you can, but don't go nuts with it. There are things you can do, because I heard like kale and Brussels sprouts and broccoli and cauliflower and cruciferous vegetables are fantastic. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I'm just going to leave it at that. And if you like them, good for you. So take care, stay healthy, And next time we'll talk a little bit about private pilot stuff because I'm teaching a course in that right now. So I'm going to talk to you about some information that I'm relaying to the students that will also come in handy for you. Until then, take care and always lead with love.